from New York. It's Saturday night. Oh,
It's Saturday night. Let me play the Den intro real quick.
The Deluxe Edition Network, also known as The Den, is an incredible podcast network that offers a wide variety of entertaining and informative podcasts.
With a lineup of shows covering various topics, such as interviews with a wide variety of guests, history, music, relationships, true crime, and so much more. The Den provides content that caters to a diverse range of interests.
The hosts and guests on the Deluxe Edition Network demonstrate a deep passion and expertise in their respective fields, making each episode on each show engaging and thought-provoking.
The network fosters a sense of community by encouraging listeners to interact through live chats, social media, and forums, creating an inclusive environment for discussion and sharing opinions.
With its commitment to high-quality production, the shows in the Deluxe Edition Network continue to captivate and entertain its ever-growing audience.
Whether you're a podcast enthusiast or someone looking to explore new topics, The Den is a fantastic platform to dive into and uncover fascinating insights from experts in their fields.
The Deluxe Edition Network is the home of independent awesomeness.
To find all these great podcasts in one convenient location, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
well.
Now it's time for awkward silence.
Well, considering we're missing someone already.
And we don't got anybody watching us yet anyway.
Well, at least no one watching live. They could be
Not
watching
yet.
on the YouTube.
I'm watching on the YouTube channel. That's why it says there's one viewer. I wanted to see how it lines up. It looks like it's like delay recorded, like it's a little bit behind.
Okay.
Yep, there he is.
I guess you should have told him 7:15 to jump on.
Yeah.
Tell who?
Hey,
You.
what's up?
Hi.
You're
Don't
late.
worry, nobody's on yet anyway.
I'm late by what? 2 minutes? This is my normal
Just
time.
as I feared. There's nobody in the fucking chat anyway, so
Oh. How are you, fellas? It's been a while.
yeah. Mike and I were just talking about we're not gonna do a recording this Thursday since we're doing this one tonight. I'm just gonna re-edit it and release it on Tuesday as an edited recording.
Cool.
And then Mike is on vacation next week, you said, right?
No, the following week, the
Or the
20th.
following week. So we can record next week then.
Yeah.
So next Thursday I said we'll do our season finale since Mike's going on vacation a week after that. And I thought about doing the career of Alan Rickman because it's also the 25th anniversary of Galaxy Quest this year.
Oh,
And,
nice.
Yeah, I'm like, it's two of my favorite movies with Dogman and Galaxy Quest with Alan Rickman. So I'm like, that'd be a good topic to cover.
Hello, Alan Rickman. This is
Hello.
Alan
I'm
Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Don't forget
You pick up the
Bye.
right.
Professor Snape.
what do you get when you add Wolf's Bane to the lace swing flies. Let's see.
No one in chat.
Yes, that's what we get. Nobody in the chat. Come on, people.
How's Kate feeling?
All right. She went back to work. She drove herself in today. She doesn't have any restrictions anymore. So,
Good.
you know, I mean, she's still a little uncomfortable from time to time, but otherwise she's kind of back in the swing. So, Kev, you got a beer news is good news for us tonight.
Yeah, I guess I missed a couple of local breweries that walked away pretty well from the World Beer Cup the other week. So
Reminding people that we are live now to come join the chat.
oh, my phone's blowing up.
Could just be me. I don't know.
Wednesday, season 2 is beginning production. It's going to have Christopher Lloyd and Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today. I also saw a trailer, Mike, for a Lego movie coming out later this year. It's kind of like the multiverse of Star Wars Lego films.
Oh, Jesus.
And it includes a Darth Jar Jar. Look kind of funny. I didn't see the name of it, though.
Misa only one of two.
It said something like, Misa gonna hurt you now.
You should not know the powers of the darker side. What's in the box?
Hey, Lee, what program were you using to write scripts when you were writing scripts?
The program I was using is not really available anymore.
Oh,
it was called Celtics.
Okay.
The last time I tried to use it, it wasn't like really adapting anymore. So I just use Google Docs now. There's a
free one.
There's a template on Google Docs too, I think.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
There's a free one available on at least Apple in the Apple store called Slugline.
Okay.
And that's what I've been using in school with my students. Kind of works out well when you do your slug lines. You just start with the interior, exterior, and then it starts to bold it, capitalize it all. You can jot it down as you type the dialogue for your characters. As long as you hold the shift key down while you're typing your character's name, it will save the character's name into the memory so that it will auto generate when you start to type it, and then it will center the dialogue.
That's kind of like what the program I used would do, but again, they don't have it anymore. So
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hit the intro again for the Deluxe Edition Network, and then I'm gonna do the special intro that I designed for tonight, and hopefully some people log on in the meantime. I know Jason and Kathy from All Hallows Eve just messaged me to resend them the link, so maybe they might try to hop on.
Okay.
And then I told Mike that Donald from You Mean a Movie disappeared. Kev, I think he got tired of you asking for pizza.
So You Mean a Movie is no longer a thing?
Yeah, I haven't seen a new episode from him in almost a year.
Wow. Poor Donald.
All right, here we go. I'm going to hit the promo real quick, and then we'll get started.
The Deluxe Edition Network, also known as The Den, is an incredible podcast network that offers a wide variety of entertaining and informative podcasts.
With a lineup of shows covering various topics, such as interviews with a wide variety of guests, history, music, relationships, true crime, and so much more. The Den provides content that caters to a diverse range of interests.
The hosts and guests on the Deluxe Edition Network demonstrate a deep passion and expertise in their respective fields, making each episode on each show engaging and thought-provoking.
The network fosters a sense of community by encouraging listeners to interact through live chats, social media, and forums, creating an inclusive environment for discussion and sharing opinions.
With its commitment to high-quality production, the shows in the Deluxe Edition Network continue to captivate and entertain its ever-growing audience.
Whether you're a podcast enthusiast or someone looking to explore new topics, The Den is a fantastic platform to dive into and uncover fascinating insights from experts in their fields.
The Deluxe Edition Network is the home of independent awesomeness.
To find all these great podcasts in one convenient location, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 150 live.
It's alive!
Yeah, I hope anybody who tuned in got to see that intro that I just put up there, because I worked really hard on that.
That's a good scroll, man. Good scroll.
That was a lot of work. So we are in episode 150, as I said. We're calling this one The Plot Holes Strike Back. We are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and Wookiees, to another episode of Films and Fermentation, where we travel to a galaxy far, far away and deep dive into the Death Star-sized plot holes scattered throughout the franchise and try to do so in less than 12 parsecs. From mysteriously reappearing bad guys to boggling familial revelations to the mysteries of, hey, Mike, Jedi chlamydia. Grab your lightsabers and join us as we navigate the treacherous asteroid field of Star Wars plot holes. Yeah, right there, Mike. Catch you by surprise.
A little bit.
You speak lies, sir. Surely there can be no plot holes in such a well manicured a franchise.
Such well-written dialogue and well thought out plot structures.
Yes.
No battling between directors and between productions, nothing like that.
No.
Don't forget, you can drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. I went on Linktree earlier today and I fixed some links that weren't working on there, so everything should be up and running again. You can become part of the Films and Fermentation family by supporting us on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. Mike is showing some of our merchandise right now with his t-shirt. Get that lovely looking Films and Fermentation t-shirt at teespring.com. We are also a part of the Deluxe Edition Network, The Den. You can find out more about us and other podcasts that belong to the Deluxe Edition Network by going to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. While you're there, check out the podcast of the month for the month of May, the Steve and Crypto Show. I'd also like to mention that we are now on Reddit. If you search for r/Films Fermentation Pod, that's Films Fermentation Pod on Reddit, you can join our Reddit conversations. So, gentlemen, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Well,
Hold up. I got to, before we find out what's in the box, I got to say, hey, welcome to DJ Scoob from the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, who said, whoop, on the chat there. Thanks
Hello,
for joining
DJ
us.
Scoob.
Thank you for joining us here. So, as I mentioned in a teaser in the last show, Mike got gifts for me and Kevin. These little blue boxes here. We were told not to open them until the broadcast, and I was very patient, and I have waited, and I did not open mine. So
I
we are going to open them now. We've been shaking it. I'm trying to figure out what songs Mike might have put on my mixtape.
Salamander.
So I'm going to open
quite
mine.
obviously
Kev,
from
yours.
Tiffany's.
go ahead, open them, boys.
I'm opening them now.
It's just a little something.
Look at that.
To
What's in the
My
box?
perfect way to take my drinking habit mobile with me.
It is a flask.
It is a my gosh.
Flask that has our logo on it.
Pickled Road and Fermented Ave.
It says Pickled Road and Fermented Avenue, which is one of the logos that we use.
Does yours fully say Avenue? Mine just says Ave.
Yeah, Fermented Ave.
Oh, okay.
And Pickled
And Pickled Road.
Pickled
Road.
Thank you,
But Mike,
Michael.
it's missing something.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
left that for you guys to fill.
You can imagine if we did fill it for us. They've been sitting in a box for a month. Like, you would have been
better with age.
Barrel aged. Yes.
What if it
I'm definitely
leaked
gonna
and stuff? Geez, that would have been burst.
gonna have to have that ready for the next episode.
Is this available in our store?
Says nice. Is this did you buy this from our store, Mike?
No.
No.
Our store does not have that on there. I have to get it specially made. So I bought it from our store if I could.
I'm going to keep my apple juice in this.
Is that what you call it?
My very special apple juice.
Isn't it called your teacher's aid?
Teacher's aid, yeah.
Teacher's aid, yeah. It's called the summertime juice box. So speaking of juice boxes, what are we drinking tonight, gentlemen? Mike, since you gave us this wonderful gift, why don't you go first?
Okay, I am drinking a Dreamweaver wheat from Troggs Independent Brewing. 4.8 alcohol by volume. 55% wheat. Nice wheat beer. I like wheat.
They're out of Lancaster, aren't they?
Are they?
I know they're local. I want to say Lancaster is their city.
Let's see what it says.
Well, Mike tries to figure that out, Kev. What are you drinking?
Hershey.
Hershey, okay. I'm close. I'm feeling it, boys. It's 80 degrees outside, going up to the high 80s tomorrow. I just came back from Virginia Beach to one of my cousin's weddings, and we brought back some libations, if you will. So I'm going to start with this Lime of the Party. It's a key lime pie ghost. It's from New Realm Brewing Company. They have a couple locations in the Virginia area. So I'm looking forward to this. And then I have from Back Bay Brew House, the Orange Crush IPA, which is an Indian Pale Ale with orange. It's 6.1% alcohol by volume. And this is also out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. So I have two new ones. The key lime, the lime of the party is, let me see, can I find the alcohol by volume? It should be pretty close. It's 4% alcohol by volume. Key lime juice, sea salt, vanilla bean, and coriander. And if I polish those off too quickly, my summer continues with the good old longboard from Longboard Island Lager from Kona Brew Company.
They
So.
all
That's from
sound-
Hawaii.
Scoob says, "Hey Kevin, Mike, nice to see the faces that go with the voices."
Hello, DJ Scoob.
Thanks,
he knows
DJ.
my face already because he and I spoke recently. The episode in which I appeared is out now as well. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. I am drinking. I went lo-fi tonight. I figure we're 2 days removed from Cinco de Mayo, so I'm just drinking a margarita.
Nice.
That I'm normally I go with Cuervo with my margaritas. Tonight I'm doing some 1800 tequila.
Ooh,
It's in my
Nice.
my howdy glass.
you went high class.
Low-fi but high class. Mike, anything special happened this week?
This week in film history. In 1997, science fiction film The Fifth Element, written and directed by Luke Benson, starring Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich, is released. Then the most expensive European film ever made.
If Mike has any kryptonite, it's Russian names.
Yes, it is.
Mila Jovovich. Oh, hey, we got Kathy from All Hallows Eve on the chat now.
Kathy!
She says, "Long
We miss
time
you guys.
no see, guys. We miss you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
We keep hoping to hear from you guys and find out if you're doing anything new. And we had so much fun. I actually just re-listened to the episode that we did with them on the House of a Thousand Corpses. 'Cause
Yeah.
I needed to be aggravated and have a good laugh at the same time again. So speaking of the Fifth Element, we talked about this before in other episodes about how this was supposed to be like the next Star Wars, and kind of never like took off. Even though it's still like it was a hit, and it's a movie I love to watch when it's on. Never quite had that tread to it like the Star Wars films had.
Yeah.
DJ Scoob says to Kathy, "We miss you guys in the pod group." So what's the other one you got there, Mike?
In 2011, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, directed by Rob Marshall, starring Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz, premieres. Opening weekend makes $350.6 million.
$1,000,000. $1,000.
Yeah, I think it should have made thousands, but
This was which one was this? Number 7, 8? I don't. I this is the fourth one.
Four.
I lost
Fourth
track.
one.
I remember seeing the first one in the theater with you and Adrian, Mike.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the second one, I believe, in the theater with you and Adrian.
maybe.
And then I definitely know I saw the third one in the theater with you and Adrian and Katie. And Kev, I think you might have been with us too.
I think I was there for one of them.
Yeah. And that's the last one I saw was the third one.
Yeah,
I
pretty
see
much.
one.
I think I seen this one out on one of the networks.
Mhm.
This is the one with the mermaids, I think.
I may have seen this one in the theater. It's probably a date. I couldn't tell you. Nothing stands out. And I
Yeah,
know there was
2011. I kind of I don't remember 2011.
there was a fifth one with Blackbeard. I want to say was the villain in that one.
Yeah, wasn't there one with was this the one with the Fountain of Youth? The one with
This
Penelope Cruz.
one was the one I think.
I know one was like the Fountain of Youth or something. I don't know. Mike, you have any must-try beer or craft destinations for us this evening?
I do. It's called Moose Drool Brown Ale.
Moose Drool.
Moose
Moose
Drool.
Drool.
Moose?
Yeah. From Big Sky Brewing Company. How many craft breweries have a brown ale for their flagship brand? Moose Drool has always been Big Sky's top seller, and for good reason. The near black brown ale is balanced, smooth, and comforting, yet approachable. Notes of chocolate, a hint of coffee, and a touch of pecan pie sets the tone. American made in an English brown style ale. There you go, boys. Moose Drool.
Moose Drool.
Pie. Pecan pie.
Sounds like something that should be out of a brewery in Maine.
I don't have anything else to say to that. He said,
Well,
Scoob says it's Bullwinkle's favorite beer.
I thought it was Rocky.
Rocky. Moose.
And Square.
And Squirrel. Let's see here. I'm losing track because there's so much going on my screen right now. Hold on. We're going to go to Kevin's segment. Beer news is good news. Hopefully it's good news. He always makes a liar out of me, but we'll see what happens.
Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. And stop. Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. Let's go drink some beer.
Luckily, nobody can see me dancing to that behind the banner. So.
You and me both.
Go ahead, man.
Well, boys, the news is not good. The world is out of beer.
Oh,
Lies.
Those
Lies
bottles,
my
were the
teacher
last.
told me. This is a follow-up to our last episode where I talked about the World Beer Cup that happened at the Craft Brewers Conference and Brew Expo that took place in Las Vegas on April 24th. So the follow-up is just to kind of give a shout out to some local breweries here in our lovely state of New Jersey. 4 of them in the area, and at least 2 of which I know I've been to, walked away with some pretty nice medals, if you will. So the Craft Brewers Conference and Brew Expo of America held award ceremonies for the World Beer Cup, the most prominent beer competition in the world, in Las Vegas on April 24th. And 4 New Jersey brewers came home with big smiles on their faces. Winning breweries included Bonesaw Brewing Company in Glassboro.
Nice. You and I have been there, right?
Yeah, we've been
Mike,
there.
you were there once too,
I've
right?
been there a couple times, yeah.
Yeah.
They won a gold medal for their American-style brown ale called Lone Squirrel. And Kane Brewing Company, located in Ocean, they took the gold for their wood and barrel-aged strong stout, Dripping Maple, and a bronze for their Belgian fruit beer, Field and Oak Golden Raspberry. Also taking the gold were Ship Bottom Brewing in Beach Haven for their golden or blonde ale Mermaid Brown Ale. And another one I've been to out of Wildwood called Mudhen Brewing Company won the gold for the Scotch Ale Wee Heavy Wilson. A global competition that began in 1996, the World Beer Cup celebrates craft beer and increases consumer awareness of beer styles and flavor profiles. The competition recognizes brewing excellence in more than 100 categories. So there you go.
I asked Kathy how she and Jason were doing. She said they took some time off the rest, but they are going to be back very soon. And I said, nice. That'll be cool. I had to take my Star Wars Hawaiian shirt off. I bought this like an extra big size, and then I put it on, and it wasn't as extra big as I thought. And it was like cutting off the circulation in my arms.
Oh, well, that ain't good.
So that was Beer News is Good News, brought to you by Newsly.me. Newsly.me is an audio super app for iOS and Android. The reason is to you in the natural human voice. Stop scrolling, start listening. Go to Newsly.me today and use the promo code ATTENFERMENT and get your first month premium subscription for free. We'll be right back after this quick break from Coffee Brothers.
I love a good beer, but right now I could use a good cup of coffee.
Have you heard about Coffee Brothers?
Oh yeah, they're that coffee company out of New York, right?
Well, they're more like a coffee wizards of New York City. They source these amazing seasonal blends and single origin coffees. It's like a flavor adventure in every cup. And get this, they roast everything in small batches. None of that mass-produced stuff. It's like each bean gets the VIB treatment.
VIB?
Very important bean.
Sounds fancy, but is it worth it?
Definitely. Plus, they're a 2-person team. I mean, that's dedication right there. 2 brothers, 1 mission to caffeinate the world. And right now you can save 10% on your order. I mean, who doesn't love a good discount?
All right, you've convinced me. Let's get some Coffee Brothers now.
Coffee Brothers, where every cup is a sip of perfection. Save 10% on your next order with the code FNF10. That's FNF10. Cheers to great coffee. I don't know who the guys are in that promo read, man, but they got some sexy voices.
One of them sounds like he's in a hole.
What kind of hole?
A plot hole, because that's what we're doing next.
Hey,
Look at that tie-in.
segue.
So we are going right into our main segment here. We are looking at so we're revisiting a previous topic we did a while back, an episode called Filling in the Plot Holes, which turned out to be our most popular episode, our most downloaded episode, according to Buzzsprout. So we decided for tonight, since we usually do a Star Wars episode around this time of year, that we would revisit Star Wars and plot holes by doing a little Filling in the Plot Holes Star Wars edition, or as we called it at the top of the show, the Plot Holes Strike Back. Now, in order to try to quell my usual habit of going overboard, even though I still kind of went overboard with this, I decided we were not going to look at any of the expanded Star Wars universe shit. So none of the cartoons or the animated movies or
Television
the live
series.
action series or anything like that.
Dude, that's cool because none of them have plot holes. They're all on the mark.
They're all filling in the plot holes that we talk about.
And I want to point that out now, Mike. I don't want to hear shit about the Bad Batch. All right, there are plot holes that even the Bad Batch can't fill in.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, don't ruin number one for us yet.
Look, man, Dave Filoni would never allow a plot hole to exist.
Nor Jon Favreau.
No.
So we decided for this that the rules are we are only looking at the 9 canon films, episodes 1 through 9, and the 2 spin-off live-action movies, Solo and Rogue One. I kind of put them in order of what I thought were the most glaring plot holes, and we'll try to fix them if we can, or at least try to find logic where there may not be any. I don't know. We'll see. DJ Scoop says coffee. Yeah, coffee and beer. That's our thing. Carbonation, caffeine. Maybe that should be the name of the show. All right. So I got 24 here. Mike pointed out a couple pre-show, but I added them to some of the ones that were already on the list. They fill in the plot holes like a shovel with no head. No one. So number 24 on the list here. We have a top 24. I have a few video clips for some of these, but I'm not going to do one for everyone because the show will go on forever. But number 24 here is from Attack of the Clones, which would be episode 2. No one in the Jedi Order apparently knew about the clones on Kamino.
Look, my whole thing with the prequels is they introduce characters with no, backstory. Like we're supposed to know who Master Sifo-Dyas is without having, it's like who the hell's Master Sifo-Dyas?
I'm glad you remembered the name of the guy because I couldn't remember the name, and I'm a Star Wars fan, and I was like, I know that there was like this Jedi Master who ordered the clones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then like
deleted it from the archives.
Yeah, deleted from the archives. He lost the invoice, all that shit, and like somehow Obi-Wan discovers them when he visits that fat alien at the fucking space diner.
He knows about the loners.
I always love the scene where he visits the guy at the space diner, Dexter, whatever the hell his name is. And I think to myself, Ewan McGregor filmed this on a green screen and had no friggin' clue what he was filming when he did this.
What the guy would look like.
Yeah, what the guy would look like, what the scenery was, that there was going to be
Didn't know that the guy would look like an alien form of George Wendt, with a mustache.
Yeah,
Four arms, he's hugging him, he's pulling his pants up at the same time.
There was going to be a robot waitress who was like Flo from Alice, like kiss my grits. It was like it was bizarre. So this one is like a weird one because it's like, all right, so the explanation is somehow seems to be the explanation a lot. In the Bibles. Somehow Obi-Wan Kenobi discovered the clones, and that's how we got them in Attack of the Clones. Number 23. In Empire Strikes Back, the Empire, Darth Vader in one scene says, "Did you disable their hyperdrive?" And one of the captains or admirals who he ends up killing at some point says, "Yes." Why not just disable the whole engine?
Yeah, disable the whole fucking ship,
The whole-
because it wasn't in the script, Lee. It was not in the script.
You put a boot on it, okay? Just like they did in Solo. You put a boot on the Millennium Falcon.
Did they put a boot on the Falcon in Solo? I don't remember
I
that.
want to say it was in an impound yard, and it was yeah.
That was the first time they get to it. It's booted. Yes,
That's how much Kevin and I saw that one together. That's how much I remember of it.
It is booted.
So they should have put a boot on it, I guess. Yeah, I think the explanation here is they were following them, or something like. I mean,
not in Empire. Empire, they weren't following them.
No,
were they like trying to find Luke or something? And
it was at the end where Luke was escaping with him. Yeah, they were just
okay, yeah, all right. So it's as DJ Scoob said, it's a space boot. It's a
space boot.
It's a plot hole that's filled in like a shovel with no head. Here is one of my favorites, number 22. I have a video clip of this one. This is Maz Kanata in The Force Awakens. She somehow got a hold of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from his chopped off hand, and in a scene where she gives it to Finn,
but not the hand.
Yeah, not the hand, just the lightsaber. That'd be fucking creepy if she just had this like little like
the hand, shriveled, mummified,
little shriveled, mummified Luke hand, like
the lightsaber. Yeah.
So she hands the lightsaber to Finn, and someone said Harrison Ford.
Well, this was explained.
Ford,
I mean,
Solo
she got it at an auction.
Yeah,
they were liquidating Cloud City, and that's some of the junk that just got
They sold it right next to the ice cream machine that guy was running
the ice cream machine.
So let's see this clip here and the explanation for why she has the lightsaber.
Where'd you get that?
A good question for another time. Take it. Find your friend.
Okay, so here's the problem with it. It's a good story for another time, and it never happens.
Another time never comes around.
Never comes around because, as we said earlier, it's
too many damn directors in those.
Too many damn directors. Too many battles between the directors and stuff. So it's it's a shame. I would love to have known how she got it.
I would love to have known in the Last Jedi what the hell she was fighting and what was going on.
Yeah.
That would have been a better subplot, the second movie, than Finn and what's her name going to the casino.
Oh yeah,
Rose, Finn and Rose.
Yes, that's who it was.
That whole casino subplot is a plot hole in and of itself. That's a fucking plot sinkhole. Like that's should never have happened.
That was them trying to do another Cloud City, and it wasn't nearly as good.
Update: I'm halfway through the bottle of 1800 tequila.
And another plot hole. Why does Maz Kanata's eyes look like buttholes?
I think the explanation is because she's 1,000 years old. I guess I don't know. I don't know. My granddad was like 90 years old. His eyes were pretty sunk into his head. They started looking like buttholes too. So
it looked like balloon nuts.
Moving on. This is both from the New Hope and Kathy says, "No kidding," laughing my ass off.
laughing my butthole off.
No. Plot wormholes.
Plot wormholes. We got from DJ Scoo. Yeah. So shit. Where am I at? Number 21.
Jedi Order.
The Jedi Order mythology. This is both in A New Hope and Force Awakens. The Jedi become a myth within like 2 decades. Like, shouldn't it take a little longer for something like that to become mythology?
I don't know. In 2 decades, people don't remember, Landlines.
2 decades, people don't remember that they own Tamagotchis. Those
You're
poor
talking
little things
about
are dead now.
2 specific pieces of technology that really don't affect like the overall universe. We're talking about a fucking human being, Luke Skywalker, who people like forgot about in 20 years, and a religious order. Yeah, Scoop says it's like 1,000 years or something. A religious order that ran the galaxy since, my favorite video game of all time, Knights of the Old Republic.
Millennials can't remember what happened last week. Come on now.
All right, it's not a millennial bashing episode, Michael. Just because you're from the greatest generation.
That's right, the baby boomers.
No, I'm not a boomer, damn it. I'm a
Okay, boomer.
All right, there. Mike just turned 70. What was I saying?
you guys.
We were talking about.
I'm halfway through a
Jedi
bottle of
mythology.
tequila. This is going to be a great night.
Why
Yeah,
I can't
mythology thing. It's just I always thought it was weird. Like it was just like
didn't bother me with Star Wars as much as it bothered me with A Force Awakens.
yeah, it didn't bother me with New Hope too much, just because it was the first movie we got, like the first Star Wars
Right.
we got. So we didn't know how much time there was between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope, and then in between that, there's all the Order 66 stuff and Rogue One and all that. So I mean, there is some fill in the blank, but like, yeah, The Force Awakens, it just doesn't seem like it was enough time passed for it to be
right
that much of a mythology. Number 20, Phantom Menace. First off, they elect their royalty. Like, I never heard of
the Naboo.
Naboo. Hold on a sec. We got a message here. It says Kathy's name, but it's Jason. He says, "Hey guys, this is Jason. I'm loving this." And Kathy said, "Sip, sip. Pass the tequila."
Kathy, I think, would really like the new realm lime of the party, key lime pie ghosts. It is a delicious beer from Virginia Beach. So yes.
I'm imbibing tonight just because I know, like, tomorrow the middle schoolers are going on a field trip, so my office is going to be very quiet tomorrow.
We have state testing.
Yeah. So she's not only just elected royalty, she's 14-year-old elected royalty.
Yes.
I don't trust
14-year-olds know what they're doing.
What's that?
And she wasn't the youngest elected royalty, she said in one of the films.
I don't trust electing the kids in my school to be class president.
Pizza every day for lunch. No homework.
Yeah, it's Naboo politics, I guess.
The Naboo are smart people.
Yeah, the Naboo politics will explain one of the plot holes that comes up later in this list. So.
There we go.
Number 19 from the prequel trilogy, R2-D2's rockets.
They broke after that.
Mm-hmm.
They never put them back?
No.
No.
Like, why not? Fuel's expensive, dude. You can't just go all astromech. Let me fill this shit up with petrol.
I would start complaining about, like, droid equal rights, man. Like, I have the right to health care. Like, repair my rockets.
And that shows up in Solo, right?
Does it?
Yeah, Lando's droid chick fighting for equal rights for droids.
Yeah, there you go.
Saying DJ Scoob, I'm going to call him by his name, Jesse. He says what? What? With the double question mark.
Yes.
Are we saying what because of the rockets, or what, like?
Or what because of the droid fighting for equal rights?
He's saying what to my incoherent ramblings as I get deeper and deeper in this bottle of tequila. All right. Excuse me.
Maybe they were banned by the Empire.
He's talking about the rockets. Yeah, like, what's with the rockets? Like, yeah, they just kind of disappeared.
They got banned, by the Empire.
I do remember when he used the rockets for the first time. I was in the theater and I said, "What the fuck is this?" And the person in front of me,
because
was like,
that would have made
kids.
it nice. That was nice and easy, so you wouldn't have gotten to the swamp if you had rockets then.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I went, what the fuck is this about? And the person from me, when I have my kids with me, I was like, well, they should know this is bullshit too.
The rockets were first used in Attack of the Clones, right? It
Attack
was
of the
not
Clones,
used in
yeah.
the Phantom Menace. Okay.
It's in the scene at the very beginning where they were like trying to like escape from a ship or something like that. I don't remember the exact scene, but I remember him using the rocket. No, it was the Geonosis factory.
It was Geonosis factory. Yeah.
Because there's also that scene where like 3PO is doing things that his body really shouldn't be able to do.
See, too much carbon emissions. It was banned.
Too much
by the
carbon
impact.
emissions. It was banned for carbon emissions.
I told you it was banned.
Number 18. Again, expanded universe aside, because I know this was explained in like Clone Wars and Rebels and all that shit.
Prior to this movie, yes.
Prior to this movie, but Darth Maul's appearance in Solo. Now, I'm putting it in there as a plot hole for the casual fan who never saw the animated series and is watching Solo and going, I thought that guy died in Phantom Menace.
Nope.
I remember turning to Kevin and I'm like, listen, I know he comes back in the series, even though I've never really watched the animated series. Like, I know he comes back and I know some of the story and all that. But even I was like, so he's the one behind it? Like, I did. I think they were expecting to do a Solo too.
Solo was a shit show in production. I mean, it changed more hands than, a casino.
Ultimately ending up in Rod Howard's hands, which we covered in the Rod Howard
and he did
episode.
the best he could with it. We should just thank our lucky stars Tom Hanks didn't end up in it.
Well, I had said to you afterwards, I was like, I enjoyed it for what it was because I went in with no expectations.
Right.
Like if you went in with low expectations or no expectations, it was enjoyable, like, but I really didn't need the backstory. I just felt like it felt like an unnecessary movie afterwards, other than Donald Glover's performance as young Lando Calrissian, which I would have watched 3 hours of that. Tom Hanks's dark side. Darth Hanks. We've never seen the animated series, so yeah, that would be a heck of a plot hole, Jason and Kathy said. So yeah, like I consider myself a pretty big Star Wars fan, and I've never watched the animated series. But I know enough about them and I've read enough about them, like outside of the show, that like I understand where some of the stuff comes from. But casual fans. Same thing from Solo as well. Han speaks the Wookiee language fluently, apparently.
He says a little.
It comes out of nowhere.
A little. When he was
I could see, like, if he was
to him.
He was stuck in that cell with Chewbacca for a little while and kind of learned the language by osmosis, but like he kind of comes in just like knowing, the Wookiee language, which I'm embarrassed to say I know is called Shri Wook. Something I learned from Knights of the Old Republic.
Tell the truth, you're not embarrassed that you know that.
I also know that Jabba the Hutt's little guy is a Kowakian monkey lizard named Salacious B. Crumb.
Now that's something to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
Remember your mother-in-law's friend was like, why would you know that? I don't know. I just enjoy it. Number 16. Leia's ship orbiting Scarif at the end of Rogue One. So at the beginning of New Hope, Vader, they invade Leia's ship. He's asked her where she's going from. She says she's on a diplomatic mission from Alderaan. But she had just prior been the Battle of Scarif. That's how she got the disc from the soldiers and all from Jyn Erso and all them. So, I mean, I love Rogue One. I think it's a good movie. But that is kind of a plot hole.
I mean, she was there with the other rebels.
Yeah,
they're probably just providing cover or assistance.
They didn't get the license plate. So
no.
It also is another like little bit of a plot hole thing. There is like he's so badass in that last scene, Darth Vader, slicing dudes in half, and then the beginning of New Hope, it's just like David Prowse walking around awkwardly in a giant suit.
Force choking people.
Force choking.
They're going to tear this ship apart. Bring me the prisoners. I want them alive.
You ever hear one with Arnold's voice? Like, want to tear the ship apart. The next one I have here is the holdover maneuver from The Last Jedi. I have
really quickly before you go into that one, there was a fan-made film, the battle on in A New Hope between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, which would definitely line up with how badass Vader was in Rogue One. You know, if you see that fan-made film, it's amazing what they were able to do.
Yeah, that's a really cool video. I wish, of all the things that they made in the re-release, that would have been something I would have enjoyed seeing.
If you want to talk about badass Vader stuff, think about in the original, not the original, but back in the prequels, the lightsaber battles, how they were all, fancy and everything. Then him and Luke, he should have kicked Luke's ass without even thinking about it.
Out of practice, man. They didn't have people to battle with all the time. He was like, the Emperor was too old to spar with at that point. It was
Darth was throwing his punches because he knew who Luke Skywalker was.
Yo, sister. All right, so the next one is the holdover maneuver, and I got a little video for this one just because I love this scene. I think it's so fucking badass.
Resistance cruisers preparing to jump to light speed.
It's empty. They're just trying to pull our attention away. Pathetic. Keep your fire on the transports.
On my command. She's running away.
No, she isn't.
No, I remember
There's
seeing
no plot hole there.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater and thinking to myself, "God damn, that's fucking amazing." But it wasn't until I thought about it a little bit afterwards that if that works so well, why didn't they ever use it again?
Someone would have to die doing it, and they
why
had
not
no
use
volunteers.
like a remote controlled vessel or something, or build weapons that could be shot at light speed or something like that. Now they bring it up again in Rise of Skywalker, and they explain it away as it's a 1 in a million chance that would work. No,
work every time.
Aim it the right way. 60% of the time, it works every time. Luke, number 14. Luke is hidden on Tatooine, but they keep the Skywalker name. It's a little easy to figure out.
Because everyone knows that Anakin hates sand. It's cold,
Right.
it's everywhere.
It's rough, it's coarse, it gets everywhere. He would
He's
never go back to Tatooine.
He's never going back. Okay.
All right, you filled that plot hole in really good. I don't think we have to talk about that one anymore. Number 13. The Empire should have been more suspicious of Galen Erso in Rogue One.
Yeah.
You killed the guy's wife. for all he knows, you killed his daughter, even though she lived. And then you force him to build the Death Star. Don't you think, motherfucker, would put a weakness in it? A little too much trust in that guy after you killed his family.
Well, chances are they were looking over his work. It's not as if he just got a free pass. And who would have thought a exhaust port just 2 meters wide and I don't know.
2 meter wide hole in a.
Mhm.
Yeah, not even big, it's not even big as a wall rack. Come on now.
Yeah.
Number 12 from the original trilogy and from the prequels as well, because Mike, you brought this up. Darth Vader and others, such as Lars Owen, don't recognize C-3PO. Anakin built him.
He was on the evaporating farm.
He was on the farm, yeah.
The moisture farm.
The moisture farm. But nobody seems to recognize him. I guess, all droids look alike, I guess.
They have models. Look, you saw the one on in Cloud City that flipped off the 3PO when he was looking around. So that he's just another protocol droid living in a protocol world, and he is a protocol girl. No, wasn't his memory wiped from?
Yes.
Well, he doesn't remember anything, but nobody else remembers him.
Well, he's just another protocol droid.
With the same name as C-3PO. Name hasn't changed.
It's a model number like R2D2, R2 or 2, whatever the fuck they are. I gotta stop drinking.
He's an R2 model. His name is D2. R2D3, R2D4. He's
number 11. This is the original.
DJ Scoob.
What's that?
Thanks for hanging with us.
Oh, hey, Scoob. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us, man. We appreciate you stopping by. Spread the word. Tell people to check out the episode. We're going to edit this and re-release it again next Tuesday, so others can check it out as well. Number 11. The Empire has too much reliance on life scanning systems, mostly the New Hope, but also the whole trilogy. They scan the ship, or they go to scan the ship, but then Luke and Han knock out the guards and take their uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody bothers to further check the scans or see what the results were.
Is the ship scanned? The ship is scanned.
There was no life forms, in the escape pod.
I was going to pull up a clip from Family Guy, and I forgot to do it. Where it's from the Family Guy Star Wars special, where the escape pod's flying away, and he goes, "Wait, hold your fire. There's no life signs in that pod," or whatever it says. And the guy goes, "What are we paying by the laser?" Number 10. Oh, I'm repeating myself here. I didn't even have to do this because it's the same one. They never scanned the Millennium Falcon. It's the same. I missed that when I was making the list up. Number 9. Rey becomes a powerful Jedi with limited training to the new trilogy.
So
did Luke.
So did Luke.
But Luke did train with Obi-Wan for a little bit. He did train with Yoda.
He did learn how to move things by himself without any training.
He was the son of Anakin. So he was
and she was from,
she was nothing until J.J. Abrams decided to rewrite that fucking storyline. That's one of Kathy's favorite Family Guy episodes, Jason says. That episode is called Blue Harvest.
Blue Harvest. Yes, the Blue Harvest.
But yeah, like she's I've seen her described online as like I think it's a Mary Sue character or something like that, where she just kind of knows everything automatically. I still enjoyed Force Awakens. I thought it was okay. It was the other two that I had some issues with, but
yeah.
Right.
Number 8. Princess Leia remembers her mother, Return of the Jedi.
Well, who doesn't at
Most,
that
mostly
age?
feelings, mostly feelings.
Mhm.
I remember her being sad. Of course, she was dying when you were born.
Your father had just broken her heart to kill her.
I could fix that plot hole right away. She doesn't die of a broken heart. She dies of a fucking fractured windpipe because he choked her. Man. She could have lived and just kind of been like with Leia for a little bit on Alderaan and then like died while she was young and then
No,
the Bail Organa raises her, I feel like that would have been a fix on that plot hole.
Yeah.
Number 7. Obi-Wan Kenobi claims to have been trained by Master Yoda in Empire, but of course we learned in the prequels that he was trained by Qui-Gon
Jango
Jinn.
Fett. Oh.
Who was trained by?
Qui-Gon. He was
Who was
trained by Liam
Count
Neeson and his
Dooku?
particular set of skills.
Who was trained by Count Dooku, who was trained by Yoda. So therefore,
so
6
by
degrees
process
of Yoda.
like process of elimination it counts. All right. This is my next one's the best one. Number 6. Midichlorians.
Midichlorians.
That's all I gotta say about that. Or as
You got
Mike
a
calls
bad
it,
case
Jedi
of
chlamydia.
Midichloridia.
Jedi chlamydia. Hold on, here we go. I did find a video that actually explains midichlorians, so I'm going to show that real quick.
Master, sir, I heard Yoda talking about midichlorians. I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
It's heroin.
I believe that's as good an explanation as any.
wasn't expecting that.
Mike was expecting a chlamydia PSA.
It's meth.
It's heroin. Now, I think I've talked about this before. If Lucas had not sold Star Wars to Disney and had made the episodes 7, 8, 9 himself, he was going to do a trilogy about the Wills, which were the beings that lived on the midichlorians. So it was going to be like an inner space of Star Wars.
Thank God he sold it.
Yeah, that's the only good thing that came out of him selling it to Disney.
Well, Mandalorian.
Yeah. So, number 5, Luke Skywalker keeps forgetting he has the Force and randomly remembers.
Or
so
randomly
Mike and
knows he has something that he doesn't know he knows.
So Mike and I were talking pre-show about this, and Empire, Mike, what's he do?
He throws the rock.
No, Empire.
Empire. He's hanging upside down in the ice cave, and he draws his saber towards him without anybody ever teaching him how to do that.
So he pulls the saber towards him using the Force, but then in Return of the Jedi, when he's facing the Rancor, instead of using the Force to like pull the gate down on the Rancor, he picks up a rock and throws it.
Well, but what you don't know is that he used the Force to guide his throw. He used the Force to guide his throw. I mean, the Force allowed him to be the Randy Johnson of throwing rocks and hitting rancors.
But then in the very next scene, he's doing like backflips off of like airships near the Sarlacc pit and fighting with the lightsaber. Yeah, you guys remember the Force kick scene?
The Force kick scene.
He's fighting one of Jabba's henchmen on one of the airships, and if you watch it closely, he kicks the guy, but completely misses him. But the guy falls off the ship anyway. And people online have called it the Force kick.
Called that just a botched maneuver in WWE.
Pretty much. Number 4, the OG trilogy. Darth Vader doesn't sense that Leia's his daughter.
Nope.
I mean,
nope.
You got to feel like there's got to be some like rumbling in the Force,
Yeah, well,
Here's what I want to know, and this is the biggest plot hole of them all, and this kind of leads to this plot hole. All the advanced technology they have in the Star Wars universe, light speed and lightsabers and ships and lasers and robots and all this shit. They didn't have the technology to tell that she had twins well before she gave birth.
Her insurance,
She wanted it to be a surprise.
Her insurance didn't cover that part.
She was a senator, goddammit.
Yeah, well,
she didn't even know she was
cut back
until she had a full stomach.
It was cut back
How about
because of the war.
How about couldn't you like sense it too? Like there's twins in there if you're a Jedi. Like how did the hell? I don't know. Anyway, number 3, Attack of the Clones. Jar Jar's Senate promotion. Nothing says promotion like being a fucking idiot. Well, you know what? It does make sense. He's a politician. It makes total sense.
Hey.
Never mind. I'm taking that one off the list.
He is the Sith Lord. Come on.
Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar, man.
No, I'm taking that one off the list. That makes total sense. He failed his way to the top. Number 2. Leia always knew that Luke was her brother? Question mark?
Somehow I always knew. Especially when I stuck your tongue.
Hold on.
Oh.
The Force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. And my sister has it. Yes. It's you, Leia.
I know. Somehow, I've always known.
Flash.
Even while she had her tongue down his throat.
Yep, exactly.
I didn't know that you downloaded the Helium edition of the
It might
the
just be
Force
the
is very strong in my family. I have it. My father had it. And my sister has it.
It's Mark Hamill doing his Joker voice as Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that was originally this plot was there was going to be a love triangle between Leia, Luke, and Han, and Luke was going to have a sister, but she was going to be introduced in Return of the Jedi. And for some reason or another, Lucas decided to just eliminate that plot line, make Leia his sister, and now we're all confused.
No, it was, incest is the best. Put your brother to the test. Come on.
And then that brings us to number 1. Number 1, the greatest line reading in the history of cinema from Rise of Skywalker.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow
Palpatine returned.
He was
We're not
close.
really sure how. And I know we're not talking about the animated shows, but between that and Battlefront 2, you can see the wheels in motion.
A little
That's
bit
what
in
he was
the,
trying to do.
in the Mandalorian where you see the clones of
Mandalorian.
Snoke and all that. But like, here's the other problem I have with this. We just had that whole discussion about how quickly Luke and the Jedi Order became mythology.
Yep.
Shouldn't Palpatine have been mythology at this point too?
Well,
we forget about that part.
No.
That rule with an iron fist for like 20, 30 years. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, history's politics and governments are always documented to the teeth, but religions they just kind of fade away.
It's like this the Mark Anthony speech. And
If history is written by the victors, then wouldn't everybody know that the rebels had a Jedi on their side?
Yeah, but like I say, it's like the Mark Antony speech in Caesar.
This goes back to the previous one. I thought it was funny. We have, did she know that when she was sucking his face?
That the good that men do are left. It's always the evil that men know is left behind. So
I believe
the
Mike
evil-
was trying to quote Julius Caesar.
I can't do the quote, but
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I
Yes.
come here to praise Caesar, not to bury him. The evil that men do lives after them, but the good is often interred with their bones, so that it be.
There you go. That's the one.
That's why Shakespeare is on my microphone.
Yes. But it brings my point up, you know.
So I thought this was a fun thing we had last week when Kevin brought up Lamb by Christopher Moore in relation to our talk about Dogma. So I threw in a little book recommendation again this week because I thought it was a cool thing. If you're a fan of Star Wars and you're looking for a good book series to read, I could easily have said Dune for this, but I decided since the movies just come out, let me go with something different. If you're a fan of the Star Wars trilogy, I suggest you check out the Ender's Game trilogy by Orson Scott Card. Ender's Game is one of my favorite books from when I was a kid. I taught it a number of times as a teacher, and it's one of my favorite novels. Now there's like 20 books or something in the Ender's series, but the original trilogy is the best, and it's Ender's Game, Speakers for the Dead, and Xenophobia. So if you're looking for a good Star Wars adjacent trilogy to check out the Ender's Game trilogy by Orson Scott Card. Mike, do you have any beer trivia or history for us this evening?
I have a beer fun fact for you boys. Ever see someone drink a beer during a television commercial? You haven't. Because by law, alcohol consumption on national television is prohibited. Actors in beer commercials can hold one, open one, and pour one, but they cannot drink one.
And is that just in television commercials? Because my thoughts go to Cheers, the whole.
Yeah, you can't drink it. No alcohol consumption on television. Period.
I remember George Wendt saying in an interview one time that whatever he had to drink on Cheers was terrible because it wasn't beer; it was some sort of like non-alcoholic
tea
kind of stuff that they would drink on the show because they weren't allowed to drink actual alcohol.
Apple juice.
Yeah, probably would have been better. Anyway, how are your drinks this evening, gentlemen?
Very good, very good.
I would definitely say mine's very good considering I just killed half a bottle of 1800 tequila.
Yeah, my Dreamweaver wheat. I like wheat beers.
My lime of the party was pretty darn good. My Orange Crush IPA. I'm not a huge IPA fan, so I wasn't digging this so much, but it's tolerable. And I guess I'm not going to have to get to you, Longboard. You are saved for another day.
You could always crack it open and drink it afterward.
I could.
So that was some good drinks we had tonight. Mm-hmm. Mike, again, thank you for my wonderful flask that you got me, my Pickle Road and Fermented Avenue flask. Mm-hmm. Again, I thought it was a mixtape. I'm a little disappointed it wasn't, but I'm happy about the flask too. So thank you for joining us tonight for episode 150 live. Thank you to anybody who joined us in the chat, Kathy, Jason, to DJ Scoob, Jesse, as I know him outside of the podcast business, for joining us tonight in the chat. For anybody else that was out there who didn't join the chat but who was watching us live, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget, you can drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation. Find all of our social media and podcast links. Support us on Patreon, buy our merchandise at teespring.com. And don't forget that we are now on Reddit as well. You can find us at Films Fermentation Pod on Reddit. Films Fermentation Pod. You could also go to deluxeeditionnetwork.com, The Den, find out more about us and the other podcasts on the Deluxe Edition Network, including the podcast of the month for May, the Steve and Crypto Show. Don't forget to stop by the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented for our next episode. So this episode is going out live tonight. I'm going to edit it a little bit and re-release it on Tuesday next week as a regular release. And then we are going to be recording our season finale next week, which will be recorded next Thursday and released the following Tuesday. Our season finale, episode 151, the season 8 finale, is going to be a look at the career of Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman. So don't forget to stop by the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented next time around for episode 151, the season 8 finale, the career of Alan Rickman. Kathy and Jason say, great show, guys. Thanks for the invite. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Jason. It's been a while.
Look forward to seeing you guys in the podcast community again at some point. Anyway, again, thank you all for joining us tonight for episode 150 live. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
You've been listening to the Films and Fermentation Podcast. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
All right.